All right, everybody. Welcome to the show. We are live. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I'm one of your gracious hosts, Michael Thrifting Goomba. I have a couple of my buddies with me, part of the best Wednesday evening show you are ever going to see, ever going to lay your eyes on. And with that, let's go ahead and we'll start with the big man downstairs. How you doing, buddy?
What's up? What's going on? What's up, everybody? I'm Oscar El Cubanaso. I am a reseller. Excited to be here on the show. I know we got an interesting topic to talk about tonight. Something that maybe a lot of people don't normally touch, but I'm excited to dive into it.
Johnny, how are you, sir?
Oh, pretty good. I want to welcome everyone to the show. Hopefully you've had a good day and you sold a lot on eBay. I was happy to make one sale that was about $200 and had a couple more on top of that. So it's been a great day on eBay for me. So welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome. We have some people in here. Never too old. How you doing? Music 55. Thanks for stopping by. The Triple OG, Mr. Landshark, Picker, Craig. Aaron, thanks for coming. Kim, thanks for coming. And that, I believe, is everybody. So, tonight's topic, and if we get a chance, we may hit some highlights of the eBay, new seller update that they came out. If we get a chance to, we'll see. But tonight's topic is an interesting one because I think, as resellers, we all experience it. And it is, what do you do when your sourcing plan doesn't go according to plan? And what I mean by that is we all have an idea and I'm going to go wherever it is, and it doesn't make a difference whether it's RA or whether, you're out, thrift storing, garage sales, all the other kind of stuff. A lot of times we all have a plan and we say, hey, you know what? My plan is to go ahead and let's just use RA as an example. I'm going to hit Walmart's or I'm going to hit Target's or whatever. I'm looking for this product. And you go to the first few stores and you don't find any of those. What do? You know what I'm saying? And that's when you have to, rethink your plan and see what else is there that is available because, you may not find anything else, but you have to change. And maybe the change is guess what? It's Saturday morning. No more Walmarts, no more Targets. I'm going to look for thrift stores. I'm going to look for, garage sales, yard sales, maybe estate sales, whatever it may be, so I think that's what you're, that's what you're looking at from that standpoint of, trying to plan as best you can, but know that you may have to change that plan. That stuff ever happened to, either one of you guys?
Definitely. I think that the number one thing that you do when you are going out to stores and you don't find anything and you go to another store and it's the same thing, you don't find anything. And that can happen, a couple of times. The first thing that you do is not get discouraged. Because I know a lot of people that have been scoring and then, they've also experienced these dry spells, where RA wasn't producing enough, sourcing was not as great in RA. But the number one thing that you should do, in my opinion, is don't give up. Don't give up. I think that for every one time that I've scored really well, and when I mean really well, it's like clear a shelf of items that are selling for at least 100-200% ROI, and selling with good velocity. For every one time like that, I've probably struck out like 10.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be, the number one thing is definitely. Now you may have to rethink how it is that you're sourcing if you're doing retail arbitrage. You're checking just clearance, right? Is there a certain niche that you're only sourcing? You know what I mean? Because different times of the year, different departments, are better than others to source at in RA. So maybe one good thing to do is kind of rethink what is it that you're actually really sourcing. Are you looking for summer items? Are you looking for toys? Are you looking for exercise equipment? Maybe you should try automotive. Maybe you should try outdoors. Maybe you should try basketball cards.
Yeah. Now, John, I know, you with your niche that you're in of going to auctions and looking for stuff and everything like that. What kind of plan do you normally have in place when you're going to go out? You're going sourcing. Are you just going for anything, or are you a little more specific?
I am a reselling whore. I will sell anything. I am always looking. I'm flipping. I go into the grocery store and I'm looking for something to buy to make money on. And so for me, it's, the COVID has really kind of turned my reselling game on its head. I had to completely rethink what I was doing back in the summertime and start figuring out another way to make money. The auction company that I go to, they had shut down. Everybody was afraid of COVID. They didn't have their first auction till July. So we're looking at from like April, May, June, and July, 4 months. How I normally buy stuff wasn't there. And thankfully, something else fell into my lap. And it really opened my eyes to there's just being so much more than just going to the auction. Because I like replenishables. I think it'd be nice to list one item and put quantity 10. But when you go to the auction, that just typically doesn't happen. You'll buy one-offs. And they can be really good. I listed 25 items today. And those 25 items that I listed were extremely profitable. I listed 2 PS2s that were just the last model that came out before the PS3 came out, the PS2 Slims, with like 60 games a piece. So those are $180 listings just for those 2. But that's the stuff that I always bought. But here recently, I've been doing a lot more retail arbitrage. And I think that if a person's smart and they can figure out that game, there's just as much profit to be made there as anywhere else in reselling. So that's how my sourcing changed. So I don't know if that's what you were looking for, but that's my answer.
Yeah. No, but that's the point, right? You always had a plan. You were going to hit auctions, and all of a sudden now auctions are closed.
Right. Yard sales are never an option.
And you never really did RA up to that point, right? I mean, you may have done a little bit, but you probably didn't do as much as you've done in the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah. I used to do quite a bit of it for toys, like around Christmas time, but I always felt like a little weird checking out like 2 or 3 carts at the Toys R Us because they know what you're doing and they just want to give you a hard time. And I don't like confrontation. I'm just real passive, and I don't like being confronted. And like, somebody locally was looking for an AC pool filter, and someone else tagged me in it because I had some, and the person said he's probably the guy that went around and bought them all up. And I'm like, so I'm like, thanks, but don't thanks. I was like, thanks, but no thanks. I was like, people quit tagging me and stuff.
Yeah, ding, ding, ding. You win the prize.
Yeah. Get some angry mama knocking on my door because you can't find a pool filter.
Yeah. Well, it's tough, because I remember, I was going out, and I was looking for a couple of products or anything. And the idea was to hit as many of a store and just go in and try and find those 1 or 2 things, right? That was the plan that day and everything. And after the first 3 stores, there were none to be found in those 3. So I had to either decide, okay, what am I going to do? Am I, going to, try and find something else in that store that I can think about and go to an area that I normally wouldn't go to. So like, that's one of the things that I will do sometimes. If I go into, Walmart and I'm looking for something in the clearance aisle because they sure have it on clearance. And, that's one of the most frustrating things because you would think at least all the stores within a certain circumference of each other would all have their stuff on clearance at the same time, and that doesn't happen here. I don't know if it happens, where you have more. John, I know you only have one in that metropolis that you live in,
Right.
But so I had to figure out what to do and everything. So I said, you know what? I don't really do a lot of pet stuff. Let me go down the dog and cat aisles and see if there's anything there that is profitable, that has a good sales velocity. And, lo and behold, I found 2 items that actually, sell on a consistent basis. I mean, they're replenishable in that, people will always buy, but it's not one of those things where it's selling, every single day, right? Somebody has to use up what they have before they need to buy, another one, everything.
Right.
But that's what you have to do. You can't just sit there and say, okay, you know what? I throw my hands up and then just drive around to the same store. I was looking for the exact same things. You have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to get in that store and then have more of an idea as to what it is, what else you can find. Because especially if it's a non-clearance item that you can find, and it has a good velocity and it has a good profit, then that you can go store after store, grab those, and then at least you're making your trip profitable.
Right.
Yeah.
It's tough to find those items, but if you can get out there and you can scan and you can find something, then you can do it pretty well. But that's why I kind of stay away from RA, and I do try to pick up the bread and butter items at the auctions. And I don't want to make the whole, like I said, I don't want to talk too long about auctions, but if you guys live anywhere near, anyone watching, go to like Auction Zip, type in your zip code and see if there's any auctions. And sometimes you can do really well, or even go to estatesales.net, type in your zip code, see if there's any estate sales, because it isn't all about RA. Sometimes you can make really good money. The home runs aren't going to be in RA. I mean, you're going to get an occasional, maybe, you're going to maybe in the ballpark home run, by accident, but like the grand slams are like, they're out there at the yard sales and places like that. And I'm not saying that they don't exist, but they're just not as common. But you can make a ton of money in like individual sales. But I would like to, I just suggest that people check out their local auctions and stuff like that.
No, definitely. And I think that also auctions and garage sales is also another one that, even if you do strike out, it's one that you shouldn't get discouraged, right? You can wake up one Saturday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, 6:30, whatever, and you go out to the garage sales and you go out to 3 garage sales, 4 garage sales, and you strike out at all 4, and then people get discouraged and they decide to want to go home. But what if it's on the 5th one where they find that, that those items that, have these amazing margins? And this is why I think that estate sales and garage sales and auctions, they're great, because it's true what John says. It's very rare that you're going to find in RA something that's going to make you is going to give you an amazing return, right? Unless
this
it's a pandemic.
different, but
unless it's a pandemic year, it's completely different, because you're going to buy the items that, they're going to sell ridiculous. It's one of those items that you go into a store and then you're going for that one item, you grab all of them, on to the next one, and do that all day. But then it comes to a point that when that dies down, you need to, reanalyze what it is that you're doing and then make changes. And it's not just looking for clearance items and items that are on clearance. I think that when you do RA, you have to remember that also in Walmart, there are a lot of hidden clearance, right? It was about 2 weeks ago that I was just scanning items randomly, and I came across a couple items that were not on BrickSeek, that they were, but they were on clearance. I mean, I found some Ozark fillet knives, right? Like a whole stack of Ozark fillet knives, and they were 60 cents. You know what I mean? Things like that is like you won't even, can't pass up on things like that.
No. I mean, even that's, it's not like a major brand either, but I mean, it's one of those things where, how much are you going to lose? Nothing. I mean, it's not going to be maybe it's not going to be that, maybe they're not going to sell for $20 plus shipping, but, if you can sell them for, $9.99 plus shipping, That's a pretty good chunk of profit right there.
Right.
Easy to
Right.
ship,
Yeah, but
boom,
then,
poly mailer, and you're done.
and
You
I'll give
know,
you two examples. Like these knives, I mean, didn't have no clearance stickers or nothing, but I mean, these are Kershaw knives. So anybody that knows about knives, Kershaw is a respected brand when it comes to knives. I think this one was like $9 and this one was like $7. You know what I mean? These are knives that normally sell for like anywhere from 25 to 40 bucks. You know what I mean? Things like that. So you just scan, and you'll just come across things that, they're not in the clearance section. You know what I mean? But you'll come across a lot of good resellables. And then when you find, as Mike was saying, those replenishable items, and then John too, when you find these replenishable items, it's a win. A lot of times people, I think they go RA looking for just that item and they overlook a number of items that they could possibly resell that have, a good resale value. And just because they're focused either on clearance or they're focused on that one item, they pass up on a lot of good opportunity. I know that whenever I go to Walmart, I usually know what it is that I'm looking for. I kind of do my research. And when I'm in the store, I always have my BrickSeek open, right? I look at markdowns by store. But at the same time, I also know, what it is that I'm looking for. If I'm looking for something that's selling, summer items, something that's toys, exercise equipment, electronics, video games, whatever it is, I know which ones are the ones that are selling because I do the research before. But then while I'm in that area, I get in the habit of just looking at other things. It's usually the things that, people overlook that have the best resale.
sorry, Oscar, for kind of not. I mean, I'm hearing you. We had some shit going. Oh, we had some crap going on in the chat there for a minute. So for a few seconds, I had to go ahead and do it. Sorry. No, but you're right and everything. The hidden clearance is a big thing. I mean, I actually found some gun holsters that were on a hidden clearance, and the only reason why I went in there is that I saw one item that was on clearance in that rack, and decided to go ahead and look at another ones. And I didn't have any plans on going in that area, but it's another one of those things where I went in, I was looking for something, and I said, geez, you know what? Let me go into sporting goods and see what's happening there. Maybe you get lucky, maybe you see something, so on and so forth, So I mean, and then again, the plan was to find one thing, but that plan didn't work. So you got to, throw that stuff out and, move along. Taylor Exchange has a question. Do any let me go ahead and put it on the big board. Any of you, well, I don't like to say that word. Any of yous have those barcode scanners you put on your phone?
I use just my phone. I just open up the Amazon seller app and then I open up the Walmart app and I open up the eBay app and just scan off directly off the phone. And then I'm gonna say something. I think it's important because I think that maybe a lot of people, and I could be wrong about this. Maybe people already know, but I'm gonna say it anyways. If you scan with your Amazon seller app and nothing comes up, type it in. If you scan with your eBay app and nothing comes up, type it in.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Lately, I mean, it's been going on for a while, but it seems like at every quarter, the items show up less and less when you scan them. So just take a minute to type it in and then manually search for it. It might come up like that.
Yeah, you always want to do that. I mean, I have not one attached to my phone. I have a little 2D barcode scanner, and I bought it when I went ahead and was doing a bunch of used books. And if I still, I do go ahead and I'll take it with me if I go to a book sale, so I can go, just because it's a little quicker. It reads the barcode. It reads the barcode quicker than than the seller app does. What I have found. But I mean, it's 6 to 1, half a dozen of the other. I mean, they both work fine. I don't one does not, in my opinion, one does not work better than the other. But I think it's a lot of times where people don't think about typing it in, and they just go, oh, no barcode, forget it. And, the barcode didn't come up, and they move along, so, just make sure you're doing everything you can do, when you're out there, trying to find products. I mean, that's what it's all about. What I've had to do at times, is, like I said before, abandon going to stores because, you just have to stop sometimes, and you have to move on to something else. And it's tough because you don't want to. Sometimes you feel as though you're quitting when you don't want, and when oh, I'm just going to quit, and you can't. You have to keep moving on. You have to keep moving forward and everything. And so with that, sorry, I'm a little taken aback. There's some things going on in the chat that are irritating the crap out of me, and
yeah, it's a couple of the one individual has left me a negative 1-star review on my business, the D-Burt. They're local Antifa, and they don't like me because I don't swing their way. I'm a conservative white American male, and I'm not ashamed of who I am. And they're a bunch of cowards and
keyboard warriors.
Yeah. So I
apologize.
I definitely am no registered sex offender. You could check the Missouri sex offender registry list, and you can see that it's typically what the left does, just a bunch of lying cowards who like to cause trouble. Funny how they never seem to want to talk to me. I'm pretty easy to find. But anyways, internet shopping. Yeah. I have another channel that's pretty interesting. It's my Crossroads Patriot. I'm sure that's probably what brings most of them into my life. But yeah, if they can't find anything to take you down with, they'll make up lies, and that's what they are, is a bunch of liars. And that's why Donald Trump is going to win 2020. Good guys don't wear capes, or the real heroes don't wear capes. Right above my head there. Sorry, guys.
I just noticed that. That's very cool.
Right.
So
if they pop back in, if anyone sees them, if you've got a wrench, just block them. That's what they're doing. They're just trying to be.
Yeah, Louis, Alex, if you could help us out, we'd appreciate it. But
they're just mad that you do RA at Aldi's.
Yeah, that probably. I'd rather deal with a bunch of limp-wristed Antifa than I would with a bunch of angry Aldi moms when the aisle of shame is bare because somebody's went there and bought all the pulls. That's horrible. But anyway, don't let them guys get to you, because they're just they try to mess with me all the time. I could care less. I don't care. They're nobodies, and they're gonna have to put up with Donald Trump for 4 more years, guys. Sorry about your luck.
4 more terms. 4 more terms.
Valley, thanks for coming, man. Appreciate you being here. And he does a lot. He does card auctions on his channel and everything. So if you want to get into sports cards and stuff, he does a lot of good stuff. Has a lot of good cards. I mean, really good prices. So if you're ever check him out. He has some good stuff and everything. But trying to get back on to the topic of what do you do, and sometimes if source isn't going good, you know what your plan has to be? Don't go ahead and just buy to buy, right? Don't go out there and say, look, I'm on a sourcing trip, I have to buy something. If your plan was to go ahead and find stuff and you can't find stuff and you don't find stuff, don't just buy something to buy something. Because then you what you get like a stack of
things that you need to return in 90 days.
Right. Or you get like a stack of Monopoly for millennials sitting somewhere.
Don't do that. Those things suck. They're
Well,
like
you know what?
trebles. They're breeding in my basement, and I'm just holy crap. If I could get rid of those things, I would. At this point, I think I'd take a loss on them. I know Shane is always trying to get me to blow them up, but that's just not going to happen. I can't do it.
That'll make an awesome video. But I think that I was thinking about John because I was in Walmart right before the show, and I was looking for the Monopoly, the Toy Story Monopoly. It wasn't Monopoly for millennials. It was a Toy Story Monopoly. It was at $4. It was $4 at my Walmart. Couldn't find anybody. Somebody probably beat me to it, but not that it was going to be an amazing seller. Not that I'm giving anybody a bolo. Be careful.
Yeah.
Don't go out and spend all your money on Toy Story Monopoly. But I would have got one or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can find, probably if you do get the ability to buy a PS5, that'd probably be a good bolo this year. But I don't think they're going to be easy to find. That's pretty obvious, though.
Yeah, that's one thing that's interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put it out there. So let's make the competition a little bit more intense. So anybody that has a PlayStation Network ID, you got to go and you got to get sign up so you can get that pre-order, because there's going to be a limited run on the pre-orders for PlayStation 5.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, which is part of the plan. I mean, it's another thing. You're not used to sourcing somewhere. You have to find different ways of source. Try online arbitrage. If you never did retail arbitrage, try retail arbitrage. There are a lot of people who feel weird or odd, going to garage sales, I mean, but, there are certain things you got to go ahead and get over and just do what you got to do, and just, get over it and stuff. I mean, there are people that, will haggle you or will that you will not want to haggle with, and there are people that you can haggle with. You got to figure that part out and stuff. As you start going around and you start doing more sourcing, but again, you might not be a thrift store person because they're a thrift store, it's dirty, so on and so forth. And one thing I usually tell people is people don't donate from their laundry basket. They usually donate from their closet.
Right.
I donate from the garage.
Or the garage. So, yeah, I've done that too. But I think, from that standpoint, again, there are a lot of people who don't think about a thrift store, or they don't think about, I don't want to say a secondhand store, but the discount stores, right? Some people don't think about like a Tuesday morning. They don't think about, a Steinmart or stores like that, because they think, a lot of them think, oh, they don't have, good stuff there. They don't have, but if you go into those stores, you'll see name brands that will sell. Now, are they profitable? I don't know. I mean, it depends. I guess, it depends what you can buy stuff for, but as long as you're doing your research, you should be able to, figure out, yes, I should buy this. No, I should not. I shouldn't buy that one, and go ahead and move on. But I think you need to go ahead and always keep your eyes wide open when you're sourcing.
Right.
I mean, I understand people have niches and stuff, but don't be afraid to go in. If you go into if you're going into the the Goodwill, don't be afraid to go buy the shoes. And the other thing is this, remember one thing when you're outsourcing, for the 99% of the time, you're not outsourcing for yourself. So whether you like the way it looks does not matter. It's, will it sell? Will somebody buy it from you? You have to make sure of that. Don't buy something just because it looks cool, because there's a lot of cool stuff on eBay that has been sitting there for years.
You know what? I think that there's a buyer for everything. It doesn't matter what it is. And I truly believe this. But the difference between what I feel somebody should be sourcing and things that maybe might be sitting for a while, I mean, it all depends on what it is that you want to wait for. How long do you want to wait for that right buyer for that one item to pass by? Right. If you have an item that might sit 6 months, might sit a year, because I have things from last year that have been in my sources last year that they're selling now.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic because I got them in storage totes, you know what I mean? And I'm moving old stuff out, which is great. Now it's selling. But some people plan for that, right? Some people plan for that and they plan ahead of time. They'll buy up everything at the end of Halloween, or right after Christmas, or right after summer, once everything goes on clearance from the summer items, and get all the inflatables for like 25, 30 cents, 40 cents, whatever it is, and then just hoard it till the next year, right? So I think that some people might, do that purposely, but then other people may actually have the space to be able to, get those items that may sit a little bit longer, have those higher margins, and just store it until it sells. You have it listed 6-8 months. It's not taking up space, or maybe it is something that's taking up space. Like in my case, I have a vintage sewing machine that's been in my garage for, I don't know, over a year. When me and Alex went to do an estate sale, there's a video on his channel from that estate sale, and on mine too. We both made a video. So I mean, I know that I paid $25 for it. I don't mind hanging out that thing being listed. I mean, it's not listed yet, but I'm just giving you the example. I wouldn't mind holding it if I paid $25 for it, and I know it's something that sells $450. That's the value of it until the right buyer comes along.
I've sold a lot of sewing machines. You just can't go wrong with them.
Yeah, no, but I think you're right. I mean, I'm trying. Last month, in August, I sold a bunch of stuff that I had listed in 2018. And like you said, there are certain times where you just got to wait for the right person to come along. There is a buyer for everything. It's just a matter of,
how long you want to wait for that buyer to come around.
Right. And obviously the item means a lot also, right? If it's a smaller item, a pair of shoes or something like that. Well, a pair of shoes, they don't take up a whole bunch of room. Right. Mm-hmm. So you can easily go ahead, and store those, but if you have bigger items, if you don't have the room, it's kind of hard. Mm-hmm. So, it's, there are a lot of people when they go out sourcing, they'll find bigger items, but they're afraid to source those bigger items, because the thought process is, oh, if it doesn't sell, then what? There are a lot of people who, it's something that took me a long time to get over is actually spending the real spending money to make money, right? It took me a while to get over, buying anything that was, $20-$30. My sourcing, that was not my sourcing plan. My sourcing plan was, look, I got to find stuff $10 and less here. I can't, I can't go out there, and spend a lot of money on items. But then all of a sudden I started looking at shoes and sneakers, and then I had to go ahead and I realized, man, I can buy these for $60, but I'm going to sell them for $250.
Right.
So that, so again, the sourcing idea of I only buy super low, I had to change that plan. That plan wasn't working all the time because I wasn't able to find higher dollar items for, half a penny's on a dollar. Not even a full penny on a dollar, but a half a penny's on a dollar.
Sometimes you have to get out of that mindset that you can only buy, like when you're buying an item for $1 and you're flipping it for $50, like you're not going to find a $50 item and flip it for $5,000. You typically don't do that. Those are few and far between. But what you need to know is in the back of your mind that if you can spend and you've got the money and you can buy a $200 item and flip it for $4, that, typically the more expensive items like that sell a little bit better and they sell a little bit quicker. And I do a lot better that I've stepped up my game and started buying some more expensive stuff. I bought those PlayStations the other day and I paid $40 a piece for them. Or no, I paid $40 for the pair of them. But the fact is that, I would have paid 50 or $60 because I know all day long they're going to sell for 100. So like, if you're looking for stuff that you can flip and make a bunch of money on, video game stuff is typically that ticket, but you typically have to pay more to get that item. There's a premium that you're going to have to pay, but you're going to flip that so much quicker. And I just want to tell people, don't be stupid, but don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to step out and take a chance and buy some bigger items and just give it a shot. Especially once you've built up your coffers, your war chest, that you can go out and kind of do what you want to do. Definitely, you can make a ton of money. And I've sold a couple items this week that I paid $100 for, and I sold them for $200. And after fees, I made $80, and I'm happy with that because I've got the money. I would do that 1,000 times a day if I could.
Million times.
Yeah.
Times. And it's true. I mean, especially when it comes to video games and electronics like that. A lot of times you may pay up a little bit for it, but I mean, you got to trust the data. I mean, you got to look and see what the comps are and do your research and then trust that information. You're going to see comps, you're going to see solds. I wish that I would have held on a little bit longer to some of the things that I had early on in this year, like around January. I was selling these systems like crazy, right? And then boom, here comes shutdown. And then the price skyrocketed, like that Wii system.
The Wii's, yeah, all of that stuff was crazy.
That the third time was a charm because I got returned because people don't read the description. They don't look at the pictures. Nobody looks. It was clear that the remotes did not have the covers on them. Said it in the description. It was visible in the pictures, but I got to return twice. But you know what? I'm glad because the third time that I sold it, we were already in the middle of a lockdown. These game systems were selling for ridiculous amounts of money. So I got double what I had sold it for the second time. And the first time was obviously the same as the second time. But the third time around, I got double for it, I wish I would have held on a little bit longer to those PlayStations because I did have those PS2 Slims. I had 3 of those. I had like 3 Xboxes. I had a couple consoles. And I was just, it's like you can't tell the future, right? But still, I got them at a reasonable price where I was to make a good return. But when those sold, I invested into it. I paid up a little bit for it, and I did make profit on them. But if I would have held a little bit longer, I would have made a lot more profit. That's for sure. And buying in lots is another thing. You know what I mean? I think that especially when we were in lockdown, some people like to go out to the garage sales, yard sales, and they look for yard sales, garage sales that have these Nintendo systems and have video games. It's like I'll pay you $1 a game, right? Now, when everything was locked up, I was online and I was looking at auctions. I was at auctions online for lots of video games. It was 180 video game lot, $200 for it. It was another one that was like 200. I ended up buying like 1,000 video games, right? I probably have like somewhere close to 300 of them left, because throughout all this lockdown, they're selling. And, the average price on these games was $1.87. And the majority of them are selling for $16.99, and it's something that weighs 5 ounces, 4 ounces. So it's going to be between $3.16 and $3.67 to ship. You know what I mean? So there's, a decent return on it. So
yeah, that's a simple 6x9 bubble mailer. Bomb, pop it in, and good to go.
Yeah, I got 7x10 bubble mailers, and that's exactly what I'm shipping. And just slide them in. Dumped it. It's great. So this is a good thing. This is a good point right here because I know a lot of people had to change. I mean, even John was talking about it earlier. How everybody needed to kind of change the way they were sourcing. Pandemic year, right? Pandemic year. A lot of people had to change because look at me. You guys know that I was an FBA seller, right? I was an FBA seller, but I had to quickly adapt. I had to change. My sourcing strategy into something else. I would sell a little bit here and there on eBay, but I was pretty much always FBA seller. Right now, I'm loving eBay. You know what I mean? I love Amazon too, but eBay's going great for me also,
Did Kim had a question. She said, generally speaking, when you list an item, how long do you wait before playing with the price or second guess your shipping choice?
Playing with the price, I normally don't price because I price competitively. I'm not the lowest price. I'm not the highest priced. I typically price what I feel that the item is worth. And my shipping choices are, I mean, they're always decided before I list the item. Like I already know the different ways that I can ship multiple items. You know, I can hold an item right now and I can tell you, say, this is probably like 6 ounces. I know that this is going to go in a bubble mailer and it's going to go first class. No questions asked. Now we'll come up to something like this. Okay. Like I know that this weighs exactly 1 pound. I'm going to send this first class. But if this was the Amazon Fire 8, I know that it's already going to be over a pound. And I know that's going to go in a padded flat rate. So before I list the item, I already know what it is that my shipping is. So I'm able to actually make a wise decision on what my listing price is going to be, because I already know what's going to cost for me to ship that item. And that's a good point. I think that everybody should master shipping. You got to master shipping. You got to know where it is that you're going to save. If you're able to get an account with UPS and FedEx, that's going to help you a lot, you know, because you're going to have contracted rates. So sorry, I was going a little random.
No. To your point, I was going to say that now. You're a free shipping guy, right? Oscar?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, but even if I wasn't, you know, I would still price accordingly. I wouldn't.
My point was going to be, from a standpoint of is that, for instance, when you do free shipping on that knife, will you also have the ability for a customer to select priority shipping? Will you have multiple shipping options?
No.
Okay.
No, not me. I mean, I know that there's people that do it because they want to be able to offer to get that to them, you know, right away. But there are items where it won't be standard shipping. I will be offering free shipping on the item. So majority of my products of my items listed in my store, they're all free shipping. But on some items where I know that there's a lot of competition, I typically, instead of, and I know that it's going to be, you know, over a pound. Let's use the Amazon Fire 8. That's over a pound as an example. I know it's going to be in a priority, right? And the priority already counts as expedited shipping.
Right.
So I'll update that on, you know, the shipping section that is going to be shipping expedited and still offer free shipping.
Taylor said, I've heard that it might be effective to offer next day air, but I've not tried it. If you need my product that bad, I don't. How can I say this and sound okay? I don't offer that kind of service. I'm not looking for that level of customer service that if you need an item from me that you have to have it the next day. My idea is list a bunch and have volume out there so that, you know, you make up a good chunk of your money on a day-to-day basis. I definitely I wanted to address Kim's comment too. I don't know what kind of item it is that you have listed. If it's a retail arbitrage item, one of the things that I will do is that I will look for some of my competitors and I will watch their item and kind of see where they're going with their price on it. And I will check those prices on those items maybe once or twice a day to make sure that I'm priced competitively and that I'm still making a good profit. I don't want it to be a race to the bottom. But if it's an item that I know is eventually going to sell, then I pretty much list it and forget it unless I've got a lot of money in it. And then I might baby it a little bit. But I call it hover over my listings and make sure that they're always perfect and make sure that, you know, I figure that somebody's going to buy it eventually. And if not, the way I have my eBay store set up is that I have everything goes into like September 2020. I don't have categories like hats and shirts and stuff like that. Like everything I list today went in September 2020. So whenever this time next year comes around and we're in September 2021, if we're all still here, that what I'll do then is that in August, I'll start reevaluating the items that I have coming up in September. And then I will put them into another folder called items for huge markdowns. And if it's been in my store for a year, I'm ready to start marking that stuff down and get it going. And that's just the way I do it because I deal in used items, guys. I don't deal in a lot of retail arbitrage stuff. I do have some new stuff, but then again, I have a separate folder for that says do not mark down. So, you got to figure out what works best for you. This is a system that I've developed. It's a system that I've devised, and it works really good for me.
So where you put is that your custom SKU or is that your custom store category?
No, it's not a custom SKU. It's just a store category. I don't have store categories like video games, tennis shoes, because I can honestly tell you, I don't think people really are shopping your store. People aren't going, unless maybe if you're a YouTuber and you have a following, you're not really going to get people that are going to like, oh, let me buy Funko Pops, or, there are those YouTubers out there that have a cult following and they sell a lot of stuff to their people because they get the recognition of getting their name called out on their YouTube channel. But like, unless you're doing that kind of stuff actively, and I'm not shaming anyone, but that's just the psychology of it.
You're right.
It's genius. I just can't. I don't do it. Maybe I should, but I don't. But I don't get people to buy from me either that are my YouTube subscribers, so I can't really do it. But I guess I could. Hey Jim, thanks for buying that box of ding dongs from me. I don't know, but what I'm trying to say though is that I don't think that people really come back to your store and buy a lot from you. I think that you repeat buyers on eBay is really like it's an oddity.
Yes. I think it's an oddity if you somehow are doing a replenishable on eBay. Like if you're doing now there are people who do some kind of replenishables, and if you have a good price on something, maybe somebody comes back. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's an item that it takes a month to use, and they come back once a month and everything. But I would tell you one thing. So to go to the shipping piece, okay. I'm one of those weirdos that on a first class item, I offer priority and I offer express. Now, good, bad, who knows? But I'll tell you one thing. I got a sale because I offered express. And it was for a new music CD. And it was a guy in Wisconsin who was looking for, his wife had every CD of this band except this one. He wanted to buy her a new one.
I was going to ask you if you sold the Fabio CD.
No, it wasn't the Fabio one.
What was the CD? Do you remember?
I have it. Was man,
was it like Diamond Rio or
no. It was a group that I had never heard of, and what it was is I saw it with a new CD in the bin and at Goodwill. I scanned it. It looked like I can go ahead and make some money on it. And so the guy came to me and he said, hey, I see, if I buy this priority shipping, will I go ahead and get it by, Friday because I need it for the weekend? And I said, honestly, I can't guarantee that. But if you choose, express, guarantees and everything. So the CD was $21. The express shipping, I think, was about like $26 or $27. But
the guy really liked that band.
The guy had it was the only CD, and I forgot the name of the band, but it was the only CD that his wife did not have. She had every other CD from this band except that one. And I happened to have the only new one on eBay. So I was stupid in that I should have gone ahead and priced it higher.
Right.
But I didn't. But that's okay.
And that happens. It's no big deal. But see, my problem with offering an express shipping service on items, I got to stand up for a second. I'm sorry, guys. I've been tired. I was down working in my basement, and my feet hurt and my butt hurt, so I got to alternate between sitting and standing. It sucks getting old. But my problem with offering like an express, like an overnight delivery service, is I'm afraid, and it's probably an unfounded fear, that somebody would target my eBay store. And I mean, it ain't about the money, I guess, because I mean, money's not my issue, but like I can sell another thing on eBay for a long time and still be perfectly fine. But I don't want to give stuff away for free either, and I don't want to entice scammers to come into my store and take care of me, and by me taking care of them. And I just feel that if I have something that I could list and they could get it overnight, they could pull maybe a credit card scam or something. But I know that eBay covers you in that instance. But I'm just weird, guys. I'm sorry. You just have to forgive me.
No, you're not telling us anything we don't already know.
Panther Pack 87 said, "Happy wife, happy life." I try to make my wife real happy, but lay down as you do this show. I wish I could. You should see my basement. My wife, I love her. God bless her. God bless her. I know she's not watching this, so I can speak freely. But she tears my basement up, shipping stuff. Horrible. It is absolutely freaking a mess down there. And I get so angry because I take pride in my area. So I worked all day. Not all day. I spent a couple hours down there working, trying to prepare her a new place so that she could ship out of. And as soon as I pull it up, I'll show you guys. But okay, here it is. See if I can. You can't really, I don't know if you can see too well, but I've got everything set up now. See all my boxes? See how ordered?
Wow.
Yeah. See how clean that is down there? That's what I did. And I know that this has nothing to do with the show, but that's what I did. I got my aisles cleaned again. You can kind of see. That's probably why my fingernails are all dirty, but I got them cleaned out on both sides, perfectly clean. And it looked horrible because my wife comes down and she just throws a pile of them out in the boxes at the base of the stairs. I love her though. She's prettier than me, and I ain't gonna get no better. So I just have to do what I do. But yeah, so that's why I'm tired.
So speaking of eBay, did you see we're getting close with, but you see the new seller update came out, was released today.
Oh yeah.
It has some interesting stuff. I mean, they talk about, they expanded the number of zero insertion fees. They did go ahead and have added a lot more people to manage payments. I was actually one of those people. I actually started today, and I did wind up getting a sale. So I don't know, good, bad, and different. We'll have to wait and see how that happens. The couple of things that I like were, number one is on promoted listings now, if you're below standard, you're not going to be able to promote your listings, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sorry, but that's amazing.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're below standard,
at 1%. I promote at 1%. I don't care what the item is. I give even one.
No. What they mean is that, but if
I get it. That's gonna pull me ahead of so many more people with that 1%.
I know, that's what I do. I do 1%. I don't go for this. Oh, the other thing there.
Yeah, I can't. I made a video about this topic today. So if anybody wants to not read it, you can go over and listen to me talk about it for 30 minutes. But there's nothing that just ticks me off more with eBay than the fact that you have to pay them to sell your items that you've already paid them to sell your items. And I'm like, that's crazy. It's just, to me, it just makes absolutely no sense.
Yep.
A pay to play. I mean, it makes about as much sense as buying your own coin pusher machine and making YouTube videos. It's absolutely, the only people you are getting is people who are too dumb to figure out what you're doing. And I know what they're doing, and I am not going to pay to play. I make enough money, I guess. And the thing that I liked in the seller update is that the new thing that they're going to be doing with the watch bidders is that you're going to be able to automatically set it up to where it'll automatically, when someone watches your item, it'll go on and send them an offer for that item. You can set it up to where anytime someone watches your item, you can send them a 5%, a 10%, or 20%, or 15% on that item. And I believe you're going to be able to set it up for different categories, and it's going to work out pretty good. That's one of the things that I am really excited about that they rolled out with today, or they're rolling out with. I'm not exactly sure when that comes out. The other thing I really like is if you have a store subscription, they give you the Terapeak when you're listing stuff in certain categories. It'll give you Terapeak data right there as you're listing it, what the historic highs and lows of that item are in the condition that you're listing. And it's really cool. I mean, if you put new, it'll tell you historically if there's any data for it, that item sold for new. And that's pretty neat. And if you're a sucky seller, or you get in a bind and you kind of get messed up, they're going to take away the opportunity. They must really think that I must be missing the boat, because if you're like a below standard seller, they're not going to allow you to spend more money to sell stuff on their platform. I'm like, oh boy, what a horrible punishment. I can't give eBay more money to sell my stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's, there's some interesting things in there. I mean, there are some things, you know, like, and it's funny. See, now that you said what you said about the automatic offer to watchers, see, at first, when I initially read that, I was like, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I want eBay doing that for me. But then, you know, like you said, though, it when all of a sudden now you could set it up and have it happen right away.
Right. That's
probably a good thing.
You can do that. You could run a thing on your YouTube channel and say, hey guys, this is John here from Show Me Pickers. And if you go to my eBay store right now, if you watch one of my items, I'm running a special. If you watch it, you'll get 10% off automatically. You know, what I would really, 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 really love to see eBay do is be able to give us the opportunity to make our own coupon codes. Why do they not allow us to do that? Like, you know, Show Me Pickers 25. And that would be something that you could offer to your viewers, or that you could offer to your following, people who watch your store, people who, you know, if you have a Facebook page, to get people to bring organic traffic to their site. Even if you have a social media page, you're like, hey guys, type in I sell junk 25 and you'll get 25% off everything in my store. Why is that not something that eBay's done? I don't know. I think that it would be really good. And if they are doing it, someone let me know in the chat, because I just might not know.
I think that they are doing that. I think that they do have a program where you are promoting your own items outside of eBay, and then you get credits on your final value fees.
No, but I'm talking about yeah, that makes sense. But if I could do something like, you know how websites will run a promotion code, like a coupon code at checkout, where you can create your own coupon code, and that would give 10 or 20% off to people that you want to.
That will be amazing, because
like I have a membership on my channel, and for those people who are members of my channel, I give them bolos that I find while I'm out doing retail arbitrage, and some of these people have made some pretty decent money off of them, and you know, but you could also offer, like, you know, coupon code to your eBay store for people who followed you on YouTube. There's just so many applications to that. Just my personal opinion, but
no, you're right. I mean, there's, who knows? Maybe now, you know, maybe we, you know, new guy in charge. Maybe some of these things, you know, will begin to happen. Maybe they'll start to, you know, they'll start to see those things.
Yeah.
But Aaron makes a good point, and I had it up on the screen where, you know, it's about shareholders and not sellers. And, you know, there are a lot of the things that they do. It does make you wonder, you know, I mean, how much they really care about their sellers.
They care, but they think that we're an infinite resource. And that attitude that has done nothing but build other reselling platforms for the past since 2012. That's when eBay really started going downhill with all of their new. That's 2012 was, I called it the Spanish Inquisition of eBay, because they were looking for any reason to just chop your head off. I mean, the guillotines were everywhere. I mean, you could go. I mean, they were removing bad sellers from the site, and that's when I really learned good customer service at that point. Because when early on, I did some nefarious BS. You left me a negative feedback, I was petty. I'd leave you a negative feedback, and I really didn't understand what it meant to be a good seller. And I learned real quick, because I did not want to lose my eBay account.
Yeah. I mean, I get that, and I understand that piece, you know, but it just, I don't know. It just seems, though, sometimes, you know, oh, hey, this showed up with a huge, you know, scratch in the back of it, like a video game.
Oh,
you know, and what, and, you know, but in your listing, you show the back, and the back is perfect. In the back, there's nothing wrong with the video game. And you can go to eBay and go, look, here's my picture, and I had a buddy of mine actually do that. And you know what the response back to him is, sorry, how do I know that that's the actual CD that you put in the box?
My philosophy with that, brother, is just give him. I gave $25 back on some weights. I don't care. The fact is that I like selling on eBay, but if I didn't sell on eBay, I'd probably open up a car lot or something like that. But I'm never going to work for anyone else for the rest of my life. I'm always going to find something that I can do to make money. And if I lose eBay tomorrow, then I'll do something else and probably be the catalyst to get really rich, because honestly, entrepreneurship offline, like in this economy, is probably, there's a lot of opportunity out there when you're doing service and goods. I've seen it. I've seen some of my friends, just some of the money they're making. It's pretty crazy. And I don't understand how, but anyways, the fact is that I would just like to be able to, I don't know. I'd like to be able to continue to sell on eBay for a little bit longer. But
yeah,
I want to make sure the customer's happy. That's the point that I'm trying to make, is I'm just going to give them their money back, because, it's creating an environment. They do have options to go other places. They do have options to buy and sell on other platforms. And I think that right now we're seeing Amazon kind of falter. I think they've stumbled, and I want to see eBay kind of, I want to see them come out of that corner fighting. I really do. I love eBay, guys. I'm a huge eBay cheerleader.
Check it out. I got a return. It's the infamous Clippers.
Oh no.
Let's see if they're used.
I'm gonna say they're gonna have all hair in them and stuff.
Internet shopping, that might have been when I was thinking 2008. I know in there they had a really big purge.
The big reveal.
All kinds of little curly cues.
That is nasty.
I wouldn't even be touching it with my bare hands.
Yeah.
See the hair? There's a hair right there. They try to. Oh, there's another hair there. You know what that means, right?
You didn't come back the same way you sent them.
50%.
Yep. All right, everybody. We've been at this craziness and got off the rails a little bit.
We're not professionals. We're professional sellers.
That type of stuff.
Yeah.
That was the first time it happened to me, and it was one of those ones where I lost my focus and I shouldn't have.
Oh, it's no big deal. Those that they were here for me. It's no big deal. I've been dealing with that stuff since we had the Back the Blue. We had the Black the Blue rally at the same time. The local clan with the tan showed up and decided to tell us that we're a bunch of hillbilly redneck racists. So it happens. They're
Oscar, you running out of hand sanitizer?
No, you're crazy. I got jugs.
You do? Let me see them. Oh, wait, no, wrong.
The after that's the late night after show.
You got to pay extra to see Oscar's jugs. He has a fan. Yeah, what do they call that? Fans only or whatever.
You got to join Oscar's Patreon.
Yeah, it's Patreon.
Hey, with that, let's go ahead and wrap it up. We'll go around, let my cohorts give some last words of infinite wisdom. John, we'll start with you.
I want everyone to know that I appreciate you for being here tonight. I appreciate everyone for coming. I hope everyone hit that thumbs up button. We definitely care about this show. We care about the quality that we're giving you. And we just are thankful that you guys come and watch us every week. And we love horses.
Oscar.
Yeah, this weekend, Saturday, 9 p.m., the Bad Boys of Reselling Show is going to be on Fat Man the Flippers channel. We got two amazing guests that are going to be with us. They're going to share their experience as new resellers over the past couple months. and they're gonna, basically, tell us what their ride has been like this year. So definitely check that out. It's gonna be on Fat Man the Flippers channel, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Fat Man the Flippers channel, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Check it out.
Excellent. Hey, thank you for everybody that showed up tonight. I really appreciate you guys coming out. We really do, appreciate our audiences that show up every week. We're doing our best for you guys and hoping, and, we're giving out good information. As always, you have all of our contact information in the description. You could always send us a message, leave a comment on one of the shows about topics you want us to see us go ahead and bring up. And we can research that and put on a good show for you guys. And with that, go out there and always remember, save a horse, ride a cowboy.